Namaste. Welcome. Welcome to my living yoga room again. It's good to be back together here. Recording yoga class videos can take a bit of time, and it's a bit of a process, but it's worth it. So I'm so glad you've joined me again. And this practice will be one where we begin seated on a chair, and we'll do some chair movements, very nice and easy and gentle and accessible for anyone. We will also then move into a standing position, putting the chair aside, and work on some standing positions and movements. And finally, we'll wrap up the practice down on the floor, doing a little bit of floor movements and ending with our corpse pose, our shavasana. So we'll go ahead and get started. So we'll find a nice, comfortable, seated position here on the front edge of the chair. This helps to lengthen the spine. So even though we're going to sit in a chair, we're still going to have a really nice, elongated spine, engaging the core, finding some relaxed shoulders. So if you feel like your shoulders are really tense right now, do a couple shoulder rolls, front to back, back to front. Let the arms dangle to the sides so that it kind of pulls the shoulders gently down. And then you can find your hands to your thighs or in your lap, making a nice little bowl with the hands. And if it feels safe and good to do so, you might close your eyes here. Or find a soft, gentle gaze down toward the floor, or perhaps in the distance in front of you. A very relaxed gaze, closed eyes. We'll begin with some breath awareness, body awareness. Feel your feet in contact with the mat or the floor. Bring attention to your whole body here. Notice the whole of the body. How does the body feel right now? Do you feel uncomfortable? Do you feel relaxed? Do you feel warm or cool? Bring awareness also to your breath. Notice the breath as it comes in and out through your nose. As the breath comes in through the nose, feel the belly and the lungs expand outward. And as the breath goes back out, feel the reverse contraction of the belly and lungs. Inhaling, inflating inside with air. Exhaling, contracting as we release all the air back out. Nice, gentle rhythm. Fully noticing the breath. Fully noticing the movement of the body. Continue to sit here, noticing the breath, noticing your body. Our theme for this practice will be the essence of yoga, the unity of yoga, what that means on our practice on the mat. Yoga is not a religion. It is a science of well-being, a science of youthfulness, a science of integrating your body, mind, and soul. Yoga is about uniting our body, mind, and soul. Becoming aware that we are a whole being. We are not parts, scattered pieces, or scattered roles. We are a whole being. Let's take a moment here to set an intention for the practice. Your intention is a statement, a short phrase, or one word, or an image, or even a color, and that you will dedicate this practice to the next hour or two. When we state the word or the phrase in a present tense, usually beginning with the word I or I am. For example, in keeping with the theme of the essence of yoga being about being united, being whole, we could choose the intention. I am whole. Or I am connected and whole. Or you could choose a word like wholeness or wellness. I am wellness. Any of these things. Look into your heart. Feel deep in your heart. And see what comes forth. Go with your natural inclination and state your intention to yourself 3 times. And as you do, state it with a belief. State it with a smile on your face and gratitude. And evoke a feeling of what that feels like for that intention to be true in your life right now. Slowly release our intention. Let it rest in your heart space, in your whole being. And at any time throughout the practice, when you are feeling your mind wandering away from the moment, you can recall your intention and bring it back to mind. Great. If your eyes are still closed, you may open the eyes. Let's do a little bit of thymus gland tapping activation. Our thymus gland rests right beneath your breastbone here. So you can bring a couple of fingers to the breastbone. And underneath is that beautiful little thymus gland that is responsible for helping your immune system to function at its optimal level. So with a gentle tapping here, we're bringing some love, attention, and energy to the thymus gland, inspiring it to be healthy and whole, and to work for our benefit, especially during this season of our world and what's going on with the pandemic. Gentle love here. Breathe into that space. Imagine a little gland beneath the sternum and send it some love. We'll let that go. Gently shake out the hands, wiggle the fingers, pick up the toes and wiggle the toes. Inviting the body here to join us for some movement. Great. Now let's bring our arms up. And as we come up, take a nice stretch here to one side and the other. And slowly begin to move the arms side to side, kind of like seaweed arms. You can imagine you're flexible seaweed in the ocean, going with the flow of the ocean water. You can bring the arms up and back, forward and back, side to side. Finding some fluidity here. You can even go round and round. You can also imagine that you're tall prairie grass out in the prairie and you're going with the flow of the wind, the breeze around you. Perhaps some little pops going on here in the spine as we release the stickiness in between the joints and invite the body to release and let go. And slowly we'll pause that movement to aim some wrist rolls here around in both directions as we slowly lower the arms back down. Great. Now let's bring the hands here to the thighs and come up onto the balls of the feet and take some time to do some ankle rolls. We've lifted the heels and we're moving the ankles around in one direction and the other direction, inviting some gentle movement into the ankles now. Notice how it feels to lift the heels, to do these gentle movements here, being aware of the toes, feet. And we'll pause the ankle rolls, set the feet back down, feeling the full surface of the feet down to the mat. Next, inhale. Lift the heels up. Feel the calves tighten and contract. Exhale, slowly lower down. Inhale, slowly lift up with the whole of the inhale. Exhale, slowly lower down with the whole of the exhale. We're connecting the movement to the breath, making it slow, gentle, gracious. Inhaling, lifting the heels. Exhaling, lowering down. One more here. Wonderful. We'll pause with our heel lifts. Let's bring the arms out to either side and up again. Cross the left arm in front of the right. And as you exhale, uncross and push the palms out to either side. Activate the hands. Feel the strength in the arms. Inhale. Bring the arms back up to the top. Now crossing the right arm in front of the left. And exhale. Push away. Great. Inhale. Come up. Left in front. Exhale, push away. Inhale, bring the arms up, right arm in front. Exhale, push away. Feel the shoulder movements, feel the arm movements and the wrists extending. One more. Feel the big stretching. Exhale, push it. And then slowly lower the arms back down. Give them a gentle shake here. Great. Gently go side to side with those shoulders. Bring the hands back here to the thighs and begin to do some gentle Sufi circles around. Taking the shoulders toward one side, to the back, around to the other side, in the front. Next time you come back to center, switch the direction of your circle to the other way. I especially love the feeling that this gives my lower back. It's a very nice release here. One more circle in this direction. And we'll do a little bit here of seated cat and cows. So let's bring the hands to heart center. If you happen to have a block, before we get any further, you might find it beneficial to put a block between the thighs and find a little bit more strengthening action here with gently hugging the block between the thighs. It's just a simple option. If you don't have a block, you can set it down to the side. No, you don't have to use the block, or you may not want to use the block and just set it down to the side. Let's bring the hands to heart center. As we inhale deeply, feel the breath in. Exhale, press the palms together forward. Tuck your chin down. Send the spine back. Inhale, open the arms out to either side and bring the heart forward. Exhale, close everything back up. Touch the palms. Inhale, bring the thumbs to the heart. Exhale, press forward. Tuck the chin. Spine to the back. Inhale, open up the heart forward, arms out to the sides. Exhale, finding the cat. Inhale, hands to the heart. Exhale, press forward again. Tuck down, inhale, open up. Exhale, close. Inhale to heart center. Exhale, forward. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Inhale to the heart space. And we'll pause here. Inhale deeply. Exhale slowly. If you happen to have been using a block, you can set it down to the side. And we're going to open up our legs apart a little bit. We're still staying here at the front edge of the chair, and it will make this even more accessible the further forward that we find ourselves here. You're finding a nice open straddle here, seated on the chair. Keep a nice long spine, still. Wonderful. And now let's let the arms down to the sides. Inhale the arms up, reach. Exhale the hands to heart center. Inhale, open up the arms, reach up, touch. Exhale to heart center. One more. Inhale, open up the arms, reach, touch. Exhale to heart center. Great. Now, inhale, open up the arms up to the top. As we exhale, we're going to turn to the left side and let the arms come down. We're finding a seated twist here. Keep both feet nice and flat to the floor. Check in that this knee isn't just going whoop to the inside. We want to keep the nice open straddle here. We're staying here in this gentle twist, feeling an added activation on that right side, inner groin and inner thigh. We're inhaling to lengthen through the spine, exhaling, the shoulders relax, feeling the twist. If you'd like to add a little bit of a neck stretch, as you exhale next, allow your gaze to look over your left shoulder a little bit more, looking back behind you. And you'll feel A little bit more stretching happening here along the right neck and shoulder side. One more inhale and exhale here. Feeling this twist, feeling the breath, and feeling your feet staying connected to the floor. Next inhale, we'll slowly start to bring our gaze back around, bringing our body back to center. Just take the arms up again. Take a couple of those stretches from one side to the other, extending upward. You know, yoga isn't for the flexible. No, it's for the willing. So remember that when you think, oh, I'm not flexible enough. That's not what yoga's about. Right. One more inhale here. Stretch up with both hands, arms. And as we exhale, we'll turn into the right side. Lower the arms down. Finding your seated twist to this direction. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. You're pressing the sit bones down to the chair, lifting the spine upward, relaxing the shoulders with every exhale, feeling your twist here. Checking in that both feet are feeling the floor beneath and that your left knee hasn't collapsed inward. Feeling the added stretch here on the inner left groin and thigh side. For the added neck stretch, next exhale, you'll slowly look over your right shoulder towards the back. Check in again with your feet. Even I have the inclination to pick up my left foot as I'm in this twist. Staying connected here to your breath, to your body, to how this experience feels in your body. Next inhale, we'll start to bring our gaze back to center and around. Exhaling the whole body frontwards. Bringing the arms to either side. Inhale, bringing the arms up and finding those stretches again. Upward, finding length through the whole of the spine. Yoga is also not about looking a certain way, finding just the perfect, way that your body should be looking in any position. It's not about that at all. It's not about, am I good at it or am I bad at it? It's, are you being good and nurturing and kind and compassionate to yourself in this moment? That's of the utmost importance. Without judging harshly, without judging yourself at all. Simply being aware of the experience and enjoying it. Great, let's bring the arms down. And we'll gently help one leg up in front and then the other one. Great. You can hold on to the sides of the chair here. And we're going to do a little bit of leg extending and contracting. So as we inhale, we're going to lift the left foot, press out through the ball and the heel of the foot, activating the leg, extending. Stay upright, nice and tall. Exhale, bring the foot back down. Other side, lift, inhale, extend. Exhale. Bring it back down. Again, to the left side. Inhale, extending the leg. Exhale, bring it back down. Right side, inhale, press out through the heel and the ball mound of the foot, and bring it back. This time we can add an arm movement. Inhale, lift and extend the left leg and the opposite right arm. And exhale, back down. Other side. Inhale, right leg out, left arm up. Exhale, back down. Let's keep going. Opposite leg and arm. Inhaling, lifting and extending. Exhaling, contracting and lowering. Notice if the arm and leg are working together along with your breath. Like before, we want to see if we can allow the movement to follow the length of the breath. If you feel like your breath needs to happen a little faster, no worries. Let the breath come as it needs to. But see about making the movement a little bit slower. We're not in a race. And this is about you and your body just where they are at in this moment. We're not competing with anyone. We're not racing. You're not trying to be just like me, and I'm not trying to be just like you. Isn't that such a relief? All right, one more to each side. And we'll come back to center. Slowly come up onto the balls of the feet and tick-tock the knees side to side, finding a gentle release here. Side to side. Oh, this chair is poppy. Pop, pop. I promise that's not my knees or my hips. All right. We're going to transition now to standing position. So you can set the chair aside. You won't be needing it again. And we're going to find ourselves facing the mat in the long direction and come into a warrior one stance. Couple of options here. You can be at the back of the mat, step one foot up, and adjust the back foot to a 45-degree angle. We're going to have the front leg bent. The other option, be at the front of the mat, and you can step the one foot back and the other one stays up. I've got my right back to start with, my left in the front. Now, if you're feeling a little bit of wobbly and balance challenge here and you feel unstable, couple of options here. Widen the stance between the feet so that they are not as lined up in the center of the mat. And see how that helps. If you don't like the way that feels and you still feel out of balance, shorten your stance just a little bit and see how that feels. Lots of different ways to accomplish things here on the mat. So, once we've got that back right leg down, we've got the right foot at a 45-degree angle, and our front knee is bent. And we're noticing that we're at a 90-degree angle here in the front, and we're facing in this direction here towards the front leg. We'll bring the arms up. And as we exhale, we'll make cactus arms. And I'll turn here so you can see what my cactus arms look like. Yes, the goalpost arms. Those are cactus arms. Great. Nice. Inhale, we bring the arms up. Exhale, into cactus. Our cactus is a strong feeling here. And we inhale up. Exhale into cactus. One more like this. Inhale up. Exhale into cactus. Great. Now from cactus here, we're going to inhale in cactus. As we exhale, we'll straighten the front leg and bring the arms down and back. Inhale into cactus, bend the front knee, bend the arms. Exhale, straighten, lower the arms down and back. Inhale into cactus. Exhale, straighten, down and back. Inhale into cactus. Exhale. Inhale into cactus. One more time. Great. Now let's bring the hands to the hips. Inhale deeply. As you exhale, you can straighten the front leg and slowly shift the heart forward along with your shoulders, finding a pyramid position. How far you go here is totally up to you. There's no right or wrong answer. What we're feeling here is a nice stretch all along the front leg from the buttocks all the way down to the foot. We're also maybe feeling a nice gentle stretching along the back body. The arms can stay here at the hips. You can also let the arms dangle down, which brings your spine down a little bit more. Another wonderful option that I like to offer is to bring your hands to this front leg and to give yourself a gentle massage here. If you like to add, instead, a deeper stretch of the shoulders and you feel very balanced, another option would be to bring the hands behind the back and grab opposite elbows. Breathe in and out. Feel the essence of this position. Feel your inner self here and everything that is going on as you're looking over that front leg and hanging your head lowered into heart. All right. If the legs are if the arms are behind your back, release them down. You can bring them back to the hips and inhale, rise up. Wonderful. Now, your option to take the back foot, step it forward, or to slowly bring the front foot back. Whatever is best for you. And we'll take a break between the sides here. Widen your stance a little bit. And let's do some hip circumduction circles. So we're going to take our hips toward one side, then roll them around, buttocks to the back, shoulders to the front, come around the other side. And now we're going to take our hips and bring them forward and the shoulders back. Let's do a couple more in this direction. Next time you get back to center, roll the hips the other direction. Exaggerate this movement. When you come to the front and the shoulders go back, you'll feel gentle stretching here through the front. And when you take the buttocks back and the shoulders forward, you feel a gentle stretching along the backs of the thighs. Great. We'll come back to center. And we're going to heel toe our feet back in. What that means is we're going to actually pick up our heels, bring them in, pick up our toes, bring them in. heel toe in. If that doesn't work for you, don't worry about it. Just step yourself in. And now we're gonna face the other side. And again, we're gonna find our warrior one stance. You can step one foot back or step a foot forward from the back of the mat. I now have my right leg toward the front, my left leg in the back. This leg is nice and long. I'm feeling the whole of my back foot touching and in contact, feeling rooted and grounded. 45-degree angle here on the toes. And the front knee is bent. My toes are pointing forward. And I am looking in the direction of my front leg. Let's inhale the arms up, reach. Exhale, make the cactus arms nice and strong. It's almost like, imagine there's something resisting your triceps and you're having to press against it. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, cactus. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, cactus. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, cactus. And from cactus, we'll inhale deeply. As we exhale, straighten the front leg. We lower the arms down and back. Inhale. Cactus, bending the front leg. Exhale. Straighten and lower. Inhale, cactus. Exhale. Straighten and lower. Inhale, cactus. One more time. Exhale, straighten and lower the arms. Inhale into cactus. Great. Take the hands to the hips. Inhale deeply, lengthen the front leg. Exhale. Find your forward fold into a pyramid. Feel the lengthening along the front leg, perhaps through into the buttocks. Options with the arms to let the arms settle down and thicken, dangle, or they might touch. All depends, maybe you're just here. Hands can stay here, or you can do that front leg massage with the hands, or bring the arms behind the back and grab opposite elbows and try a different cross with a different arm underneath and the other one on top. Notice if you have any resistance or tension being held anywhere here. If you're struggling with any balance, the safest thing would be to bring the hands to the hips, come up, shorten the stance, and try again. Couple more breaths here. Notice your breath. If your hands are behind your back, allow them to release. Bring the hands to the hips. And we'll slowly inhale and rise up, finding a standing position. And up to you. Step forward, scooch back. Finding the safest position for you. Wonderful. Let's kind of pick up the heels and bring them down. A little bit of a release. Now take the hips side to side. This time we're picking up one heel, taking one hip to the side, picking up the other heel, other hip to the other side. It's kind of like going side to side here with the hips, doing a little dance. It's good to have a little bit of fun and be playful on the mat. Oh, and see, and challenge your balance while you're at it. Wonderful. All right. Now we're going to widen our legs here. And we're going to point our toes forward. So when we point the toes forward, or even kind of pigeon toe them inward, when we fold forward in this position, it allows more room in the hips to give us the ability to come forward a little bit easier. Now let's bring the hands down to the sides. Next inhale, we're going to bring the left arm up and the right arm is going down. It's like our arms are 6 and 12 here, finding a nice lateral stretch through the left body side. Inhale back to center. Exhale, take the buttocks back and keep the spine long, heart parallel to the floor in a half fold here. Inhale back to center. Exhale, taking the left arm down and the right arm up for 6 and 12. Lateral stretch to the other side. Great. Inhale back to center. Exhale, half fold with the arms nice and wide. Feel the stretch in the back of the thighs, into the buttocks. Inhale, come up. Exhale. Right arm down, left arm up. Lateral stretch here along the left body side. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, half fold again forward. So the whole torso here is parallel to the floor. We inhale, come up. Exhale. 6 and 12 lateral stretch to the other side. Feel the fingertips reaching in opposite directions, downward and upward. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, half fold. One more time. And this time, let the arms dangle downward and let the head dangle downward. If you happen to have blocks, sometimes if our hands don't reach to the ground, placing a block underneath the hands as a rest can feel very nice. And you can do this at any level here. We're in this wide-legged forward fold. Relax the whole of the body. Feel the relaxation along the spine, the head, the neck. Perhaps you can even take a big inhale through the nose and sigh it out gently. And whether your hands are to a block or to the floor, and if they're just dangling, I recommend you bring them to the hips. And we'll slowly press through the legs, strong through the feet and legs, and rise up, back to standing. And we'll play around again with the heel toe in of the feet to bring our legs back together. And if that doesn't work, no worries, just step your feet in. So we'll pick up heels, bring them in, pick up toes, bring them in. Great. From here, if you happen to have a block, this may be another time when you might find it really cool to have between your thighs. And if you don't like the way that feels, by all means, set it down. I'll give the example with the block at the thighs. All right. I'm going to do a little bit of chair flow. Arms down to the sides. Let's first find mountain position. And mountain, our arms are down. Our fingers are reaching for the earth. We're taking that mountain position. Think of the Rocky Mountains or any other mountain that you like to think about. Feel your feet. Notice both feet feeling the contact with the floor beneath them. And feeling the feet nice and level, the toes pointing toward my direction. And feel the earth reaching for your fingertips. Strong tall mountain. Inhale deeply through the nose. Exhale slowly out through the nose. Next inhale will bring the arms upward and reach. As you exhale, perhaps you've touched the palms and bend the knees, sending the buttocks back as if that chair is still back here behind me and you're trying to set your buttocks on it. My knees are bent, and when I look down, I can see my toes. I could even pick up my toes, but leaving the ball mound of the feet down. So this reminds me that I am not bearing the weight onto my tiptoes and my heels are not coming up. This is chair position. Chair position can also be with arms up overhead in this direction. This is a little bit more challenging. The hands here at the heart center keeps you a little bit more centered and grounded. As we inhale, we straighten the legs, bring the arms up, open them wide, and as we exhale, we begin to close again, coming back into the chair position. Inhale, reaching up, open wide, exhale, coming back, sinking into the strength here of this chair position. Can you see those toes? Say, hi toes, I see you. Inhale, reach up. Welcome this day. Exhale, close back. And let's settle here into the chair position for just a few breaths. Notice if you feel resistance while being in this position. In yoga, the places where you have or feel the most resistance might just be the places where you will actually experience the greatest freedoms, the greatest releases and growth. And we'll inhale, rise up. Open wide. Exhale. Close the arms. Touch the palms. Keep the legs long this time. And exhale the hands to heart center. Breathing in and breathing out. Great. Let's remove the block from between the thighs if you happen to have had it there. And we're going to transition down to the mat. If getting up and down off the mat is a little bit challenging, depending on your hips and knees, you can always bring the chair back in to help you get down. Good to hold the chair here in the front and ease yourself down to the mat using the chair. I love to make use of a folded blanket, and in all my yoga videos I list the props that I use or that I recommend, but these are excellent, especially for the next position. We're gonna find ourselves seated on the edge of this blanket. If you don't have a blanket and you have a block, you could also find yourself seated on the block, on the edge of the block. And lifting our hips up gives us greater stability to keep our spines nice and long and from sinking down. What happens oftentimes when we come to sit on the floor is that we adopt the, I'm so relaxed watching TV posture. So notice how my spine is rounding here, my shoulders are slumping down, and my heart and lungs are getting closed in. When I bring the blanket or the block underneath my sit bones, it gives me a lift here and helps it to make it easier to keep my spine nice and long. My shoulders are nice and level. My heart is lifting upward. And I have plenty of space to find breath, and I have good alignment here throughout my whole body. So, now that we've covered those things, I'll come onto the edge of my blanket here. And we're going to find a nice wide-legged position. The closer you bring those sit bones, those hip bones right underneath here, to the edge of that blanket, the easier it will be to hold the spine upward and nice and long. Find a straddle position that works for you, not too wide and not too narrow. Wonderful. Now let's bring the arms up as we inhale. As we exhale, bring the palms as if they were washing over you, all the way down. Inhale, open up. Exhale, the palms towards you. Inhale, bring the arms up. And this time as we exhale, we're going to turn to the right. Let the arms down. Finding a nice wide-legged twist here, similar to what we did seated on the chair. Breathing in and breathing out. Inhale, bring the arms back up to the front. Exhale to the other side. Bring it down. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Press the sit bones down into the blanket or the mat. Great. Next inhale, we'll bring the arms up, come back to center. Interlace the fingertips together. Turn the palms up. Inhale, reach. As you exhale, take both arms together down toward one leg. Come around through the front as you exhale. Inhale. Up the other side. Exhale, down the other side. In through the front. Inhale, come up. One more in this direction. We'll come back up to center, go the other direction. Last one here. Arms come up to the top, and we release the arms down to the sides. Wonderful. Now we'll bring the legs in. You can keep the feet a little bit wider. Tick-tock the knees side to side, finding windshield wipers here with the knees and legs. And we're going to find a seated figure 4 hip opener. So I'm going to switch around to this direction. And we'll leave our left leg nice and long. And I'm going to take my right leg and bring it over. So my right ankle is over my left thigh. My hands will be down at the sides. Maybe this is enough and you feel something happening here along the right hip side. If you'd like to increase what's going on, bend the left leg and plant the left foot down. The closer you bring the left foot in, the more intense the effect becomes on your right hip side and buttock side. So you have control here over how far you go. And the goal here is to find a position that's just right, to feel an activation, to feel the body expanding, moving, but not to carry it so far that then there is regret afterwards. Stay connected to the position, to the breath. One more deep inhale here, long, slow exhale. Inhale again. As we exhale, we'll lower the left leg down. Pick up the right leg. Do a couple of circles around, release it, and shake them out for a second. And let's go to the other side. Left ankle to the right thigh, hands to the sides. You're welcome to stay here or to deepen this effect by starting to bend the right leg and drawing the foot closer and closer according to what works best for you today, at this moment, with your body here and now. We're not trying to force the body into something that it might be able to do a week from now or a month from now, or force it into something that it used to be able to do a year ago. Work with the body here and now. That's part of the essence of yoga and being connected to the whole person and their whole experience. You can find complete stillness here and tune into the breath. Or if your neck is feeling tense or your shoulders might be feeling intense, another option would be to do some gentle neck movements side to side, up and down. Yeses and nos. Very gently. One more deep inhale here. Long, slow exhale. Inhaling again. As we exhale, we lower the right leg down. Pick up the left. Circles around. And we'll scoot ourselves off of the blanket. Prep it for our head. And come to a side lying position here. So make sure that your shoulder is off the blanket. You can also do this without the blanket. That's perfectly fine. In the side lying position, my legs are bent at a 90-degree angle. My arms have come up to the front. My palms are touching. On the next inhale, I'll open up my arm all the way towards the back behind you. And see about allowing the back shoulder blades to both come down to the mat or toward it. We're finding a reclined twist here. So notice my legs are still bent. The side body is up. My heart is opening towards the ceiling. And my arms out to T to either side. Your gaze can be straight ahead, up. Or you can slowly turn your head in the opposite direction from the knees. Feel the whole body here. Notice the contrast, the the bent knees, and the hip that is up and the hip that is down. The feel of the twist along the spine, into the shoulders. The open arms, opening and expressing openness to this position. One more deep inhale here. Long, slow exhale. Inhaling again, and as we exhale, we'll close the back arm, bring it back around to the front. Take a deep breath in and out. Your option here to just roll onto the other side, or between sides you can roll onto the back body and take a moment to find a nice long body stretch here, resetting the whole spine. Reach out through the bottom of the feet, reach out through the fingertips. And as you're ready, you can then roll onto your other side. I'm going to switch around here, so I'm putting my back towards you. Bent legs, 90-degree angle, arms in front. Inhale, bring the top arm up and over, behind. Adjust the shoulder blades to be as comfortable as possible. Adjust your knees, legs, and feet. Gaze straight up toward the ceiling or turning in the opposite direction from your knees. Notice how the breath feels here in this twist. Is it easier to breathe? Is it more difficult? Or neither one? Bring awareness to your whole body. And stay connected here to the whole of your being. To the body, the breath. Noticing where your mind is going as you stay still and simply breathe in this position. Noticing your emotions in this position. One more inhale here. Long, slow exhale. Inhaling again. And as we exhale, bringing the arm up and over, coming back to the starting position. Inhale and exhale. And this time, we can roll onto the back body. Find a brief stretch. Reset and lengthen here. You can do ankle rolls and wrist rolls. And slowly bend the legs all the way to bring the knees in to your chest. Perhaps rock side to side here and a knees to chest hug. Tell yourself, good job. Look at me. I did yoga today for my health and wellness, for my wholeness. And now we'll finally get to our cherry on top, which is corpse pose, Shavasana, our final position here. Let the legs surrender down, nice and wide, but not too wide. Let the arms surrender down, a little ways away from the body. Palms can be up, but for some people it's more comfortable to have the palms down. feel shoulder blades nice and relaxed here. If for any reason being in this position is uncomfortable for your back or any other position, or any other aspect of your body, then you don't want to stay here. You can instead try bent knees. You can have the knees touching so they support one another. You can bring your feet out and the knees in. Or you can come back onto your side body. So pick a position here where you can surrender the most and release and relax the whole body. And I want you to stay here, breathe naturally. I will call you out when it's time. So simply rest here in whatever position you have chosen for your Shavasana. Allow yourself to be breathed. The body is naturally breathing like it always does. Feel the back body in contact with the floor or the mat. Relax the whole body. Surrender. Surrender your body. Surrender the breath. If we practice yoga long enough, the practice changes to suit our needs. It's important for us to acknowledge that the practice is not meant to be one practice for everybody. The beautiful thing about yoga is that there are so many different approaches, so many different ways of doing things. As we go through our life cycles, hopefully we are able to find a practice that suits us. And if you practice yoga long enough, you will notice that changes many times. What exactly that looks like is going to be different for each one of us, different at seasons of life. Yoga begins with listening to where we are at right now. When we listen, we give space to all that is. Very slowly begin to deepen your breath. Deep inhale, long, slow exhale. Begin to wiggle toes and fingers, reawakening the body, signaling it's time to rise again. As you're ready, you'll slowly roll onto one side, finding a fetal position here, knees bent. Staying connected
to your whole person. Recall your intention that you set at the beginning. And reaffirm that intention to yourself. State it again 3 times with a smile on your face, gratitude in your heart, and a complete faith in your whole person, feeling it, living it in your mind's eye. And slowly we'll make our way to seated. The preferred way is to use your hands to support you and to lift you up gently. Coming back to a seated position here, one that is comfortable for you. We'll bring our hands to heart center. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today in my living yoga room. It's an honor to share the essence of yoga with you. I hear you, I see you, and I feel you. Namaste.